I'm Greg Lofts, and you're watching The Slice. This series is a food adventure where every slice delivers a mouth-watering recipe with clever tips to help you nail it at home.
Full confession, I love me some dramatic deep dish dessert. If you're looking for wow factor with a lot of work, this is the dessert for you. Call it a cheesecake, call it a strudel, call it a tart or a pie. I call it delicious. Dump it all together in a bowl and whisk it until it's smooth. Now that's a perfect bite. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, 2 bites. Do you want to find out what we're making next? So do I. Stick around and let's discover what it is together. This dessert, it's an American classic, but we're putting 2 twists on it. One is a store-bought pastry, and the other is the use of Chinese 5-spice. Usually used for savory cooking, this combination is so delicious in sweets.
It's a 5-spice pumpkin pie with phyllo crust. I'm Greg Lofts, and you're watching The Slice. We're going to start by stirring together granulated sugar and 5-spice powder. Be sure your oven's preheated to 400 degrees. And now we're ready to brush our first layer of pastry with melted butter.
Keep the phyllo pastry covered while you're working so that it doesn't dry out and crack. And if it does crack like this one did a bit, don't worry, it'll all come back together when it cooks.
Sprinkle the pastry evenly with the 5-spice and sugar mixture. I'd say it's about 1.5 teaspoons per layer. Grab the 2 corners of dough furthest from you and gently lift them up and fold the dough over itself in half. Then brush the top with even more butter.
Brushing the pastry with butter ensures that it cooks up golden brown and ultra crispy.
Gently lift up the dough and transfer it to a 9-inch springform pan, making sure the buttered side is down. Press the dough into the bottom and up the sides of the pan. Now we just repeat the process with the rest of the phyllo, butter, and sugar mixture, arranging them in overlapping layers to completely and evenly cover the bottom and sides of the pan.
You'll find phyllo in the freezer section, so just pop it in the fridge the evening before you're going to make this pie so that it can thaw slowly and evenly, rather than trying to do it at room temperature. So many good sounds. We're 4 layers in and it's already starting to look like a crown that's fit for a king. You know you're on the right track. Now for our 8th and final layer. And because we're folding the pastry in half, it actually ends up being 16 layers on the final dessert. I did that math right? Okay, this is ready for the oven. Does it look like a crown yet?
Now bake it until it's crisp and golden. That'll be about 15 to 20 minutes, and be sure to let it cool completely. Now for the filling, and it couldn't be any easier. All you have to do is whisk together until smooth the pumpkin puree, sugar, flour, 5-spice powder, eggs, evaporated milk, maple syrup, vanilla extract, and salt.
This is my favorite kind of filling because you just dump it all together in a bowl and whisk it until it's smooth. And voila, you have pie filling in under 5 minutes. Is it gonna make it? Is it gonna make it? The smoothest possible top. If you see any little bubbles that rise up, that's just air. You can poke those out.
Lower the oven to 350 degrees so the custard cooks evenly. It'll take about 40 to 50 minutes, just until the center is set. Then let it cool completely on a wire rack. In the meantime, let's make the sesame pepita croquant. So what is croquant exactly? It's really just brittle, candy, crispy, crunchy, sugary deliciousness. Whatever you want to call it, it's awesome. Brush the rimmed baking sheet with a thin film of oil. This will keep the candy from sticking. Then add the water to the pot, and then the sugar.
I'm always looking for the shortest path to big flavor, and I will proudly admit that I'm also a lazy cook. So when I make a caramel, I like to put a lid on the sugar and water mixture as it boils. That way, I don't have to brush down the sides of the pan with a brush to prevent crystallization. The condensation from the lid does it for me. This is not the moment to go check the mail or pick up the phone. Pay attention to the pot. we're getting faint golden color now. Candy is magic. Have your toasted seeds and your lemon juice at the ready so you can work very quickly. As soon as this comes out of the pot, it's gonna seize up fast. Here we go.
Working very quickly, squeeze in the fresh lemon juice, then stir in the pepitas and sesame seeds, and pull it from the heat. Now quickly pour the caramel onto the prepared baking sheet and spread it into the thinnest possible layer with an offset spatula.
Wow. Get it as thin as you can. You essentially want those seeds in a single layer. This will harden into a crisp, crunchy candy very quickly, 10, maybe 15 minutes. Listen to that snap, crackle, crunch. Oh yeah. Look at that. It's like stained glass, only edible. Stop everything you're doing and go make this now. You won't regret it, I promise.
If you like this episode and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications.